Banner died a long time ago. It's only the Maestro now.
We've got a brand new update on Marvel's upcoming World War Hulk project, but if you were one of those fans expecting it to drop next year, you might want to dial back the hype just a bit. Yes, more Hulk is definitely on the way in the MCU, but it's not happening as soon as some hoped. Still, there's a lot to get into, so let's break it down. So first off, here's the biggest twist. It's not called World War Hulk anymore. It's World War Hulks, with an S. That small change says a lot. This isn't just about Bruce Banner anymore. We're talking about a full-on lineup of Gamma-powered characters. She-Hulk, Red Hulk, Abomination, maybe even a few new faces. Basically, anyone tied to the Super Soldier Serum experiments could show up. The official working title for the project as it enters development is World War Hulks, and here's the cool part. It's reportedly being planned as one of the first major projects to drop after Avengers Secret Wars. So we're looking at a possible release window somewhere around late 2028 or even 2029. Now of course, that's all still subject to change. Marvel's slate is always in flux. Things shift depending on pitches, available directors, scheduling conflicts, or even just which characters are trending at the moment. But there's no question Marvel wants to do more with Hulk. A lot more. Production on World War Hulks could quietly begin as early as next year if it's one of those mystery projects Marvel hasn't officially announced yet. And depending on how Cap America Brave New World ends, especially with how they handle Red Hulk, we might get our first real tease about where this story's headed. Also, there's still that big question about the Hulk film rights. Nobody's officially confirmed whether Marvel fully got those back from Universal yet, which is probably why they're not calling this The Incredible Hulk 2. Instead, building a team of Hulks might be their legal loophole. And for what it's worth, fans are still hoping for either a full-on Hulk sequel or maybe even Hulk vs. Wolverine, which, believe it or not, is still rumored to be in the mix. Marvel Studios might have had the perfect opportunity to set up a World War Hulk storyline in Captain America 4, but somehow that setup just never landed. For years, fans have been speculating that a live-action version of the iconic comic arc was coming. I mean, Bruce Banner's been a key part of the MCU ever since 2008's The Incredible Hulk, and even though Banner himself doesn't actually show up in Brave New World, his shadow is all over it. The movie brings back characters who are tightly linked to his history, like Thaddeus and Betty Ross, and it also reintroduces Samuel Stearns. On top of that, it even gives us a brand new Hulk in the MCU. So yeah, it really looked like Marvel was setting the stage for something huge. If they had leaned into it just a little more, this could have easily been the launch pad for a World War Hulk adaptation. But for now, that plan's still up in the air. In the comics, World War Hulk is a direct follow-up to Planet Hulk. Basically, the Illuminati decided Hulk was too dangerous to keep around, so they tricked him and launched him into space. He crash-landed on Sakaar, made allies, fell in love with a woman named Kyra, until the ship that brought him there exploded, killing her. That broke Hulk. He returned to Earth absolutely furious and went on a revenge rampage, one of the most brutal, action-packed storylines in Marvel history. He fought nearly every major hero. But that version of Hulk, uncontrollable, rage-filled, tragic, is very different from what we have now in the MCU. Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner has evolved into smart Hulk, calm, intellectual, and pretty chill all things considered. It's hard to picture that Hulk going full scorched earth mode on the Avengers, so if Marvel really wants to adapt World War Hulk, they might have to shift the spotlight away from Bruce, and that's where Brave New World could have played a bigger role. The movie introduced Red Hulk, Thaddeus Ross's hulked-out alter ego, which immediately adds a new layer to the whole Hulk situation in the MCU. Also, in some of the leaked concept art for Avengers Doomsday, we get a glimpse of something wild, what insiders are calling Hulk Village. And this isn't just some random hideout in the middle of nowhere. It looks like a full-on gamma-powered civilization. Right in the middle of it, we see Bruce Banner standing alongside Tatiana Maslany's She-Hulk. And next to them, a much more intense, battle-ready version of Scar, Bruce's son, who made his awkward debut in the She-Hulk finale. Let's be honest, that first version didn't really hit. The goofy haircut, the weird energy, it just didn't work. But here, he looks like a warrior. The silly hair is gone, the cringy vibe is gone, and in its place is a hardened fighter, ready for whatever's coming. And this settlement they're standing in, it's not just a temporary safe zone. It looks like an actual society, a whole community of Hulks. Everyone in this place radiates gamma energy. But the real kicker, according to rumors, the one ruling over all of this Hulkland is none other than Maestro, the twisted, ultra-smart, and totally ruthless future version of Hulk. And get this, there's talk that Maestro could be played by Edward Norton. Marvel loves dropping multiversal surprises, and this would be one of the biggest full-circle casting twists they've ever pulled. If these leaked concepts mean anything, it's that Marvel is absolutely setting the stage for the long-rumored World War Hulk movie. Industry insiders have already hinted that the project's quietly in development, and this concept art just adds fuel to the fire. The story reportedly takes place on Battleworld, a planet created by Dr. Doom, torn apart by non-stop war, with factions constantly clashing. And now it's starting to get even more real. On January 8th, Production Weekly, a legit resource used by producers and agents across Hollywood, suddenly listed World War Hulk as one of the projects moving toward production. That got fans buzzing immediately. For months, there have been whispers about Marvel cooking up a Hulk solo movie. But now, with those concept images and an actual industry listing, it feels like this is way past just fan speculation. Mark Ruffalo himself has teased in interviews that Marvel was once more interested in doing a Planet Hulk prequel, basically a look at Banner's missing 2 years on Sakaar between Age of Ultron and Thor Ragnarok. But with She-Hulk not really landing with fans and Marvel Studios dealing with its own internal chaos, it seemed like any Hulk-centered film might have been quietly scrapped. Back then, Marvel was going through a rough patch. Projects underperforming, plans getting delayed, priorities shifting. But World War Hulk is way too big of an idea to just toss in the trash, and after all the studio reshuffling, it wouldn't be a shock if they quietly revived the movie behind the scenes. So why hasn't Marvel officially commented on the Production Weekly leak? Most likely reason? They know World War Hulk has billion-dollar potential, and they're hitting reset on the script and creative team before going public. Originally, Captain America 4 was supposed to plant the seeds for this storyline, but somewhere along the way, those connections were cut from the final version. Now it looks like Marvel is going back to square one with World War Hulk, looking to rebuild the project from the ground up with fresh writers, and possibly a brand new director. One big name that's being seriously considered, George Miller. Yep, the mastermind behind Mad Max. Apparently, Miller recently sat down with Kevin Feige to talk about a potential Marvel project, a meeting that was reportedly set up by Chris Hemsworth, who just worked with Miller on Furiosa. At first, the rumors pointed toward Thor 5, but according to World of Real, Miller himself is more interested in tackling a Hulk movie. And honestly, that tracks. World War Hulk is basically a post-apocalyptic war epic packed with chaos, destruction, and deep character drama. That's right in George Miller's wheelhouse. That's where World War Hulk gets clever. By loading the film with multiple Hulk-like characters, She-Hulk, Red Hulk, Scar, maybe even Maestro, it could technically qualify as a crossover film. And under that loophole, Disney could distribute it without needing Universal's permission. The Hulk's journey through the MCU has been almost as chaotic as the character himself. There's been creative clashes, actor changes, scrapped sequels, you name it. Before Mark Ruffalo came in, the Incredible Hulk director Louis Leterrier and Edward Norton had big plans. They envisioned a whole trilogy diving deep into Bruce Banner's fractured psyche. The sequel would have introduced Grey Hulk, Red Hulk, and explored the battle between rage and intellect inside Banner's mind. Marvel even gave it the green light, but then the film underperformed at the box office, and behind-the-scenes tensions blew up. Norton was reportedly difficult to work with. He wanted more control, kept rewriting scenes, and just didn't vibe with Marvel's vision. Eventually, Marvel cut ties and brought in Ruffalo. Under Ruffalo, Hulk evolved, not just visually but tonally. At first in Avengers and Age of Ultron, he was still the dangerous, unpredictable beast fans knew. Ragnarok changed everything. Suddenly, Hulk was cracking jokes, acting more like a big green toddler than a monster. And by the time Endgame rolled around, we got Professor Hulk, a smart, chill version that merged Banner's brain with Hulk's brawn, but lost the raw edge that made the character iconic in the first place. For fans who've been dying to see the real Hulk unleashed again, World War Hulk could be the ultimate redemption arc. This is the chance to bring back the raw power, the fury, and the emotional weight that made the Hulk such a force in the first place. Of course, the MCU version won't follow the comics beat for beat. In the original World War Hulk storyline, Bruce returns to Earth in a blind rage after the destruction of Sakaar. He's not alone. He brings his warbound with him, and he doesn't come to talk. He comes to conquer. New York becomes a battlefield, and Hulk just tears through every hero in his path. Iron Man, crushed in his own Hulkbuster armor. Doctor Strange, shut down. Wolverine, torn apart. Even the Fantastic Four can't hold him back. This isn't a grudge match, it's all-out war. But the highlight of the whole arc, the moment that truly defines World War Hulk, is the Gladiator Arena. Hulk turns the tables on Earth's heroes, forcing them to fight each other the same way he was forced to fight on Sakaar. It's brutal, unrelenting, and packed with raw emotion. It's Hulk at his most primal. And this kind of no-holds-barred chaos, that's exactly the kind of energy that makes Maestro such a terrifying possibility. Which brings us to the real wildcard in all of this is Maestro. If Marvel really wants World War Hulk to stand out, Maestro has to be part of the bigger picture. For anyone who doesn't know, Maestro is the darkest version of Hulk we've ever seen. He's not just stronger, he's smarter, sharper, and utterly ruthless. First introduced in Future Imperfect, Maestro comes from a post-apocalyptic future where nuclear war wiped out most of humanity. Radiation warped everything. And Hulk? He survived it all. He lived on for over a century, getting more powerful every year, but as his strength grew, his compassion withered. By the time we meet him, he's not a hero anymore, not even close. He's the tyrant of a broken world, the iron-fisted ruler of what's left. What makes Maestro so terrifying isn't just his power, it's that he is Bruce Banner. Same mind, same genius, but without any of the morality. He's the cold, calculating version of Hulk who believes the only way to save the world is to rule it. Completely, without question. World War Hulk doesn't just set the stage for a battle on Earth. It hints at something darker, something coming. What if this war is the beginning of Hulk's descent? What if his rage, his losses, and everything he fights for push him further and further? Until he becomes Maestro? That's the long game. That's the legacy. Hulk isn't just fighting others, he's fighting his own future. With the multiverse saga in full swing, there's never been a better time to introduce Maestro. Whether he shows up as a dark future version of Hulk, an alternate reality variant, or even a puppet master pulling strings from the shadows, his presence would raise the stakes like never before. And if Marvel really wants to go bold, there's one absolutely insane casting move that would break the internet: Edward Norton as Maestro. Just imagine it. Norton's Bruce Banner, aged, twisted, and completely ruthless, going head-to-head with Mark Ruffalo's current version. It would be the ultimate clash between who Bruce was and what he's at risk of becoming. That's not just a cool moment, that's character-defining. World War Hulk could completely reshape how we see Hulk in the MCU. And if Maestro is the endgame, this might be Marvel's most brutal, emotional, and flat-out intense story yet. But that's just the beginning. Think about what No Way Home did. It wasn't just fan service. It brought back Toby and Andrew in a way that mattered. Now imagine World War Hulk doing the same, but with the past versions of Banner, Eric Bana, Edward Norton, all back, all Hulks, all smashing. This wouldn't just be a visual spectacle, it could dig deep into what makes the Hulk tick, exploring how each version dealt with trauma, rage, isolation, how they tried to tame the monster inside. That's a multiverse concept with real weight. Right now, it feels like we're standing at the edge of something massive. Marvel has the chance to give Hulk the kind of arc he's always deserved. Something huge, something raw, something that actually lives up to the character's legacy, whether it's through a multiversal war, Maestro's rise, or a story we don't even see coming yet. One thing's for sure, Hulk isn't finished in the MCU, not even close. The only real question left, will Marvel finally let him smash the way he was meant to?